Hi, I'm Sharon and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm a psychotherapist and a narcissistic abuse survivor, and my channel's dedicated to help people that are victims of narcissistic abuse, help them to get out, and also help the survivors to better understand the condition. So first, let me begin by saying that the word narcissism is now bandied about and it's used as a direct label. But we can't really do this because humans are very complex creatures and we cannot simply box people into one category. So people with narcissism usually overlap with other cluster B personality disorders. So I'll give you an example of a few of those. We've got borderline personality, there's histrionic, antisocial, and psychopathy. Now, we all got traits of narcissism within us because, in fact, there is such a thing as healthy narcissism too. Now, in the same way as you can have healthy amounts of stress, these particular conditions propel us forward in life. They drive us to our success, and without them, we would be stationary with very little vision. So narcissists work along a spectrum. So let us start the explanation of this. We've got the healthy narcissist at the one end. Then we've got a person who displays these narcissistic traits. You know, the person who's clogging up your Facebook feed with consistent selfies. They're on Twitter boasting about their achievements, and they're always craving attention. Let's face it, all narcissists crave attention. They need it. They need admiration, validation from the outside world. It's as if they live a life of shame and they have incredibly fragile egos. They also have a neurobiological impairment of psychopathy. So this is in order for them to be classified as having NPD. So when it becomes out of control, like all other personality glitches, for want of a better word, it becomes a disorder. And then you have something called narcissistic personality disorder. Now, these people can never be treated. And the reason for that is, firstly, in their eyes, they're perfect. They can do no wrong. So there is really nothing wrong with them. That's number one. Second of all, this is their personality. You cannot take out a person's personality. You cannot simply remove it. So it's not possible for these people to ever completely change. So what do all people with NPD have in common? So number one, they are self-obsessed. They have incredibly fragile egos and fluctuating self-esteems. They project, they gaslight, they lie, they blow hot and cold. They feel a great sense of shame and feelings of grandiosity and uniqueness. They all lack empathy. And most of them have this superiority about them, or superiority complex. They're all deserving. Like I said, they constantly need approval. They're withholding. They've got a massive sense of entitlement. And funny enough, the crux of it all, they have a fear of abandonment. And this is quite confusing for the victim because the victims are usually the ones that wind up getting abandoned. So before I begin, if you are still in the relationship with a narcissist, I want to help you find the steps to get out. And if you've been discarded, breathe, because it wasn't you. This narcissist decided he or she was going to leave you long before they got into a relationship with you. In fact, the time limit is for a narcissistic relationship is between the time you allow for the abuse and about 13 years. Or whether you create them some massive narcissistic injury or the mask begins to slip and you see through it. Now, the narcissist has no real identifiable character. So what they do is they rather mold to fit the victim by impersonating the victim. They're also very clever. In the start of the relationship, They are observing you. They are watching your every move. They literally looking in to find where your vulnerabilities are and your voids. So let's say, for argument's sake, in childhood you didn't experience much affection, or maybe had a parent that wasn't present. They will be all forever present in your life. They'll be bombarding you with phone calls. They will always be listening to you. They will be holding your hand, holding you tight in bed at night and making you think, oh my word, I am with my soulmate. And this is what they will then use against you when they go through the devaluation phase. But I will get onto that in another video entirely. So they will wear a mask all the time, but their biggest fear is that it will slip and that you will see through it and abandon them. For you are their source of supply. So for these people, you are like air. You are an extension of them, and they need you in order to feel that they have any kind of omnipresence in this world. Now, most narcissists keep more than one source of supply. They have a primary source, which would probably more than likely be the wife or the girlfriend, but they also have backup secondary sources of supply. Now, these could be the lady at the grocery store who works behind the counter, or the receptionist at the gym. It could be the co-worker. In most cases, it could even be the ex-girlfriend or boyfriend. So the next question one has to ask is, are these people actually evil? And the answer to that question is actually no. Now, Sam Vaknin, I love him for his contribution as a self-confessed, self-aware narcissist. And he said something along the lines of, if a tiger eats your baby, is the tiger evil? Well, no, because the tiger is acting instinctively. They're acting based on instinct. And these behaviors are inherent in the narcissistic individual. Now, this is unless we're talking about the malignant narcissist, which is considered to be subhuman. And that is the narcissist that I think I have had the most experience with personally. But at the moment, let's look at the various elements of narcissism. So we have the overt narcissist. This is the person who's rude to the waiter, exaggerates their achievements, real or perceived. They have grandiose fantasies about themselves. They're over attention seekers, and they've got a massive sense of entitlement, and usually incredibly obnoxious. Usually, most of the time, the overt is more male, but it can be female too. Then we have the covert narcissist. Once again, often more female, but can be male too. Now, these people are more vulnerable than their overt counterparts, and they love to play the victim. They'll be kind to your face, and they'll destroy you behind your back. So they are probably the most deceitful of the lot. They're passive aggressive, and they're prone to feelings of neglect or belittlement, and they are hypersensitive, and this is at the expense of others. The somatic and cerebral narcissist, and this is now the next explanation. So all narcissists are either dominantly somatic or cerebral, but they will swing between the two based on their life events or a narcissistic injury. The one thing that they both have in common is that they both prefer masturbation to intimate and emotional connective sex with their partners. Now, the somatic narcissist would attract their supply with their toned muscles, pretty face, or perceived good looks. They have low emotional IQs, and they see people as objects for their own gratification, and will normally discard their prey when they've fulfilled. They're usually very shallow. In fact, they are very shallow people, and they're not really interested in the other party, although they are perfect at faking it. This particular type loves money. It's usually all about money. Fancy clothes or cars. They're serial cheaters. They boast about their sexual conquests. They would rather use their partner as a masturbation toy than have actual intercourse. This is the type that will have sex with themselves even though they're having sex with you. So they'll either do this by looking at themselves in the mirror while having sex with you, or not making any eye contact, completely avoiding it during the act. And once the somatic has discarded you, they probably won't even elicit much of a smear campaign because it takes too much effort and you're probably not even worth it. Next, we have cerebral narcissists. Now, they use their intellect to secure their supply with either true or fabricated success. This type will hold sex from their partner and is more likely to tease other secondary sources of supply in sick, torturous ways. And they will use their primary source of supply and their dedication to him or her as an excuse for their behaviors. Now we have the worst of all, the malignant narcissist. Now, this is merely a term and not a medically diagnosed condition, as it is mixed with other disorders, namely antisocial personality disorder, aggression, and sadism. This is closer on the scale to full-blown psychopathy. So if you can imagine, we've got the narcissist, and then we've got the malignant narcissist, and then we've got the full-blown psychopath. Now, these people are truly dangerous people, above the fact that they have no sense of remorse or regrets, although they are brilliant actors, Academy Award-winning actors, when it comes to displaying regret or remorse. Now, they are paranoid, jealous, suspicious people. They're above the law. These are the criminals, the drug dealers, the one who will extort the last penny out of the retirement money of their own mother. They project constantly and they gaslight every opportunity to the point that you will think that you're going or have just gone completely mad. They're deliberately sadistic. They get off on being intimidating. They relish in the pain of others. They're very good as well at playing victims, once again in an Academy Award-winning way. They're hypersensitive and very, very, very thin-skinned. They're interchangeable in their personalities, but also in their beliefs. So one day they can be, 1 minute they can be super happy, and the next minute, just like that, they can change on a dime and become really angry and then go back to being super happy. They'll believe one thing one day and then the next day they believe something completely different. They're consistently contradicting themselves. They're the ones who are going to say to you, oh, I'm not drinking for the rest of the month, and then half an hour later say to you, yeah, let's go for a cocktail, and you're going to go, I thought we weren't drinking for the rest of the month. And they're going to say, well, I feel like a drink now. We're all allowed to change. We all change our minds, don't we? This is just them. They're dangerous physically, and they are emotional bullies. They can be the most loving too, and this is why they are possibly the scariest. They need their relationship with you desperately. They will go to the end of the earth to keep the relationship with you, especially if they haven't got another source of supply lined up. And believe you me, if they have got a source of supply lined up and just choose to discard you, it's gone. It's over in a second, and you won't have even seen it coming. Because their modus operandi is to hurt others. They're doing this deliberately. They are super aggressive. They're constantly angry. In fact, anger is their go-to emotion. And when they're not acting loving, this is usually when they're not acting loving, they're just moody people. They will alienate you and belittle you if you challenge their lies, be it with truth or with fact. and they will also project straight back on you. So you're left going, hang on a minute, was I right? Was I wrong? These people are master manipulators. Dysregulated emotions, they're immature and incredibly vindictive. And like I said, they lie, and lie. If their mouth is moving, they are lying. They are also highly insecure. Like I said, if you've got one of these guys and he's got a pretty girlfriend, you can guarantee when he's out, he's hanging all over her. He's pawing her in public so people can see that she is his property. He'll feel threatened by the man who greets you in the street, or the woman, and I'm using the term he here, but this can be the other way around as well. We have female malignant narcissists too, and she will be the one who will have an uproar if he has a friend on Facebook who's a woman who's just befriended him. They're consistently on high alert. They are the ones that set out to destroy you deliberately. So in my next video, I will explain how we actually get trapped into these relationships and what our role is in these relationships, and why this keeps on happening to us, and how to get out of these relationships safely with our own mental stability still hopefully intact. Today is the 4th of June 2017. And I just want to say that my heart and condolences go out to all the victims of the London Bridge tragedy, which took place last night. All I can say is that my prayers are with you. And I'm going to ask you to please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and please look out for further videos, which will be coming shortly. Have a lovely, hopefully narc-free day.